Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to untangle the world of notarization. You know, it's one of those things that sounds complicated, but it doesn't have to be. We're going to break down two of the most common acts, the acknowledgement and the jurat, and, more importantly, how they're evolving in this crazy digital world of ours. So, let's just dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? You've got this super important document. It needs a notary stamp, like now. And suddenly you're trying to figure out how to schedule a meeting, find a notary. The whole thing can be a massive headache. It just feels so old-fashioned. Well, I've got good news. That's all starting to change.
So here's what we're going to cover today. First, we'll look at how notarization is finally moving into the 21st century. Then, we'll get to the real meat of it, the huge difference between an acknowledgement and a jurat. After that, we'll peek behind the curtain at the tech that makes this all possible. And finally, we'll wrap up with some key rules you just gotta know.
Okay, so let's jump into section 1. We're talking about the modern answer to that age-old problem, taking the entire notary process online.
It's called remote online notarization, or RON for short. And here's the most important thing to get. The core legal stuff, it doesn't change one bit. The only thing that's different is how you do it. Instead of sitting across a desk from each other, you and the notary meet face-to-face over a secure video connection. Simple as that. All right, now for the main event. In the world of RON, you're going to hear two words thrown around all the time, acknowledgement and jurat. They might sound kind of similar, but trust me, legally, they are worlds apart.
This little table gives us a great bird's-eye view. So right away, you see both require solid ID verification. No surprise there. But check out those next two rows. That's the whole ballgame. For a jurat, you have to sign during the live session and you have to take an oath. For an acknowledgement, nope, neither is required.
Let's break that down even simpler. Think of it this way. An acknowledgement is all about the signature. The notary is basically confirming, yep, that's you, and you sign this on your own free will. A jurat, though, that's all about the document's contents. You're literally taking a legal oath that every single thing in that document is the truth. So, let's dig into the acknowledgement first. I want to walk you through exactly what this looks like during a live online session. The whole thing is pretty straightforward. You hop on the video call, your identity gets confirmed using some cool tech, like scanning your ID and answering questions only you would know. And here's the key thing about an acknowledgement. You might have actually signed the document before the session even started. The main event is just you on camera telling the notary, yes, that's my signature, and I meant to sign it. And this is almost exactly what the notary will ask you. It's a formal script. They ask that question, you say yes, and that's pretty much your part. Then the notary does their thing, and the whole session is recorded and saved securely. It's all about verifying that one act, the signing.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the jurat. This is where things get a bit more serious because you're not just confirming a signature. You're putting your name on the line, swearing to the truth of the whole document. The first two steps, exactly the same. You gotta prove who you are. But after that, it's a completely different road. The notary administers a formal oath. You have to swear or affirm that everything in the document is true. And, this is so important, you have to sign the document electronically right then and there during the live session while the notary is watching. That signature is directly tied to the oath you just took.
This right here is the moment of truth in a jurat. When the notary asks this question and you say, I do, or yes, you are now legally bound to the truthfulness of that document. It's no joke, and it's why jurats are needed for things like affidavits and other sworn statements.
So you might be thinking, okay, this is all great, but how is any of this actually secure? How is it legally binding? Well, that's where some very specific, very smart technology comes into play.
A real RON platform isn't just a simple video chat. It's a fortress of security. We're talking technology that can scan and instantly verify your driver's license, security questions pulled from your personal history, that's the KBA, and secure encrypted e-signatures. And maybe most importantly, the entire session, everything you see and say, is recorded and stored. It creates this perfect tamper-proof record of the whole event. Look, having all the fancy tech is one thing, but for a remote notarization to be legally valid, everybody, and I mean everybody, has to follow the rules. This is where compliance becomes absolutely everything.
And I really want to pause on this for a second. Getting these little details wrong isn't a small mistake. It can make the entire notarization totally void. So paying attention to the rules isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable.
So here are a few of the big ones. First, where you, the signer, are physically located can actually matter because different states have different laws. Second, and this one trips people up, the official legal venue of the notarization is always the notary's location, not yours. Third, the whole ceremony from start to finish has to be on that recording. And last but not least, if that initial ID check fails for any reason, the session is over. It can't go forward, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Okay, so if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this right here. An acknowledgement is about your signature. A jurat is about the sworn truth. One confirms who you are and that you signed willingly. The other confirms that what you signed is true and you're accountable for it.
And you know, all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As our world gets more and more digital, what does it actually mean to be present for something legal? We're shifting away from needing to be in the same physical room to a world where verifiable digital presence is what counts. It's a huge change in how we think about trust and identity in this super connected world.